Hello YouTube, today I will be talking about, well, it's just a quick video about this windshield, a flexible windshield that I use for most of my cooking with either the alcohol stove or the gas stove, the normal screw on the top gas stove or the remote gas line, both of those. Someone asked me on one of my other videos if I could, in the comments, if I could go into a bit more detail about how I made it and or what it is really. So there's not a lot of construction involved with it. So I'll show you that. It's just an elastic band around it to hold it all together. Basically, my cook's windshield set has got 3 pegs that have been bent, and the windshield itself, which has got 3 metal pegs in it as well. Basically, all it is, and I'll put a link to this bag in the description down there, which is just a lithium-ion charging bag, like a safe charging bag. It's supposed to be a fireproof bag, but this is only the cheap version of it, which is the reason why I converted it into a windshield, because I've got a better quality lipo charging bag than this one. This was £4 or £5, I think, something like that. When you get it, it is a normal bag without the pegs in it, obviously, and this is a little Velcro closure that is at the top of it, and it's stitched down these sides, and all I've done is unpick the stitching down the sides so that it opens out into a big sheet rather than being in the bag itself, or a pouch, I suppose you could call it. And then I've cut some slots into it to allow the pegs just to poke through, which let me drive the pegs into the ground and stop the windshield getting blown over if it's a bit breezy. And the pegs are aluminium rod that I've bent to the shape that I needed, just a normal peg shape, and then sort of closed up a little bit. And I tried to keep them the same sort of length as the bag itself, if you can see that, so that when it's all wound, like rolled up into itself, they don't stick out too much and poke holes in the rest of your kit or anything like that. And as I say that, I'll show you, I'll turn the camera down in a bit and show you that when I set it up. And the 3 pegs I have in were normal tent pegs, but instead of having them going straight down, I've put a sort of staggered step in it, if you like, and made that, well, I tried to work out the right sort of height for the Trangia burner to sit on the ground underneath that, so that I can push these into the ground. And these serve 2 purposes. They let me know that they're all at the right height for the burner, and it stops them being pushed into the ground any further, unless it's really soft ground or something. But I just have those set up, stick them into the ground, and make a little tripod sort of to stand the kettle on, or the pot, or whatever is being cooked. So I'll show you that as I'm setting it up, and hopefully that will clear that up a bit more for you. Now hopefully you can see this okay in the camera. These are the 3 pegs, and this is my alcohol stove, the Trangia burner. And I've also got a little a disc that I've cut out of a piece of masterboard, which is fireproof board, a rigid fireproof board. I cut that out so that if the ground's cold, or if there's particularly high chance of any flammable material on the ground, sort of in a pine forest or something like that, where there's a lot of dried pine needles on the floor, that sits on top of there. And as I say, the cold ground can take a lot of the heat away from a stove, so it helps insulate it from cold ground as well. Put that in about the right sort of place where we're going to use it. Then I just push the 3 main pegs into the ground, roughly equal spacings. Well, near enough. So they don't have to be perfect, as long as the kettle sits on them. ground's a little bit uneven at the moment, but that should do the job. And the gap between the top of the stove, where the burner jets are, and the bottom of the pan when it's sat on, is the same as with the Swedish mess kit cook set, the mess kit. So that should be the ideal sort of height in theory. I think it could do with being a bit lower myself, but it works as it is, so it's not too bad. And the windshield, I'll try and do this so you can see actually, just goes, put it in a rough circle around where it's going to, where the pot's going to be sat in the stove, and then just push the pegs into the ground so that it stops it blowing around too much. So it's still quite flexible, but it doesn't blow in, close in and collapse on top of the stove or the kettle or pot or whatever that's in there. So it's very effective, and being a thinner, lightweight fabric, it's very flexible and it doesn't take up a lot of room in your pack. You can roll it up into a tube shape and just stick it down the side of a water bottle or something like that, or even wrap it around a water bottle if you needed to, like one of these sort of water bottles here, the 1 litre ones. So it's about the same sort of height as one of those, so that would be ideal to wrap it around one of those. Right, well that's all I had to really say in this week's video. I haven't got a lot that I need to talk about, or that a lot of ideas I've thought about yet. So still working on trying to get some material together to make videos of. If there's anything that you would like to know, any questions that you've got, feel free to ask in either the comments, or you could send me an email at adam@savagebushcraft.co.uk, which is still an active email, even though I've closed down the website. The email is still active, so you can get hold of me that way. So I hope that's been of some use, and it gives you some ideas with the windshield. As I say, I'll put a link in the description about to the LiPo charging bag. It's only a cheap one, and it's a UK based seller that I'm linking to, but if you can find one the same as that, then that's going to work fine. Right, something's walking around over there, so I'll let you get on, and hopefully speak to you again soon. I'll try and get another video done at the end of this week if I can find any material, but if not, it'll probably be next week as usual. So thanks for watching.